So this is the secret to the whole thing, which is kind of a crazy thing, is that you're not selling them on you're the heaven. That's the mistake we make, right? We're not selling them on that we're the heaven. We're selling them on that once we're done, they're gonna be in heaven. The just looking buyers aren't serious. Just looking means they're afraid. That's all it means. The secret to 10x in your revenue is, and this is the secret that Kane and them have been obsessed with and focus on, and this is what we can't stop teaching this. We've been teaching this now forever, and so we'll share with you right now. Here's the secret to 10x your revenue. Wait for it. It's converting the just looking buyer. And it is actually really easy when you ask this one question. And so I'm gonna spend everything in my power over the next 40 minutes to convince you that if you focus on the just looking buyer, if you focus on the I'm just looking for a bid buyer, like whatever, we're gonna show you how to 10x this buyer. And it is actually pretty easy when you change the frame and when you ask this one question. The coolest thing about this buyer is it's the place that no one's fishing, right? So if you think about it, it's the place that no one's fishing. And I learned this from my dad. My dad owns a jewelry store of all things in North Dallas. And for 47 years, he's had this jewelry store. And I'm telling you, I will say the secret to his success is going after the just looking buyer. And I always ask him, I was like, Dad, there's no way that kid wearing the tank top, right? There's no way that person is gonna buy a $15,000 diamond from you today. There's no way. And he just told me, he said, look, he said, son, you just don't know. And there's this great book called The Millionaire Next Door that he had me read, and he basically said that majority of millionaires, they don't look like they're a millionaire, you know, like Elon Musk doesn't look like he's a billionaire, right? So the majority of millionaires, you know, they drive pickup trucks, they don't have necessarily super nice things, and so you don't really know. And so we'd always just say, he's like, you don't know. And so he's like, it's crazy. The person can drive up in a Ferrari and they don't have enough credit left in their credit card to buy a $15,000 diamond. He goes, but a person drives up in some 30-year-old Ford pickup truck with a tattered T-shirt, and they can just literally give me cash for the $15,000 diamond. You just don't know. And so because of that, you got to treat everyone as if they can afford everything. And he goes, I mean, number one, he goes, that's just the right thing to do for business. But he also said that's just the right thing to do for the human race, right? He's like, we can't curbside qualify. We can't act like they're a certain way. I mean, even in the book of James, it actually even says that, right? It says just treat everyone the same way, which is pretty cool. Okay, so let's talk about what that means. We're gonna do it right now. Here we go. So false belief number one: the just looking buyers aren't serious. So here's some things I want you to know about just looking buyers, is that just looking means they're afraid. That's all it means, right? Like think about, like, and this is a good kind of homework assignment for you, is like, think about all the times that you say, I'm just looking for a car, I'm just looking for a new suit, I'm just looking for, you know, whatever it is. Like it's, you just don't know what else to say. Like you're afraid that the salesperson is going to manipulate you. You don't even really know how to answer the question. I mean, so we just got to be careful with that false belief that just looking buyers aren't serious, because when you actually kind of do the informal research, it just really just means they're afraid, they don't know how to answer the question. That's really what it means. So it's really just more of a smokescreen than anything else. They just don't know what to say. Just looking means that I haven't decided the problem is worth fixing yet. But that's okay, right? Like I'm okay with someone saying to me, you know, I'm just getting some bids. I'm just kind of starting out. All they're basically saying is, you know, I haven't decided it's worth it yet, right? I haven't decided that if I fix my roof, it's worth it. I haven't decided if I change up my landscaping, it's worth it. I haven't decided, you know, if I remodel my kitchen, it's worth it. I mean, like, you know, my wife is a great example of this. She might be on here later today, but we did a whole remodeling project for this house that we're in right now, where it's a 1940s house, and we bought it. It was a big, huge kind of undertaking. And anyway, and so you know, my wife had to be really convinced. She had to really be convinced that the orange kitchen that we have, that she really didn't like the orange kitchen, and she wanted a more modern kitchen. That literally, it was orange cabinets and like green countertops, and she was like, she needed to be convinced that being out of our house was worth it. And during that time, just so you're clear, when the remodeler had to come in and sell us on this thing, it was a pretty hard sell, right? Because you know, she didn't want to get uprooted out of the house. And it was during the COVID times when you couldn't really like hang out with a lot of people. So it was kind of lonely. And then of course the remodeler said, hey, you're going to basically be out of your house for a month. And so out of a house, you're going to be in an Airbnb for a month. and you're gonna live out of a suitcase for a month. You can't come here because we got to do all this kind of change. And it was a hard sell, right? But the secret though was she had to get to a point that the pain, the hell that she was currently in had to be so bad, and the heaven that she wanted to move towards had to be so great that the purgatory of the month was okay. Let me say it again, okay? So she had to be convinced, and you guys, we all need to be kind of understand this, that when we're talking to a just looking buyer, what they're basically saying is, I'm not real clear on the hell that I'm currently living in right now. I'm not really clear on the heaven that will be that I will have once this remodeling project is complete. And I need to be sold on the purgatory. Okay, so this is the secret to the whole thing, which is kind of a crazy thing, is that you're not selling them on you're the heaven. That's the mistake we make, right? We're not selling them on that we're the heaven. We're selling them on that once we're done, they're gonna be in heaven. And we have to convince them that we're the greatest purgatory they've ever seen, okay? So that we're the best purgatory that will get them to the heaven, but it's still gonna be purgatory. And I think the mistake we make, I know the mistake we make so often, is when we don't speak truth to people. Oh, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, you're just gonna be uprooted out of your house for a month. You're gonna live in an Airbnb. You're gonna sleep on one of those Airbnb mattresses that's like foam, that's super uncomfortable. You know, you're not gonna know where your stuff is. You're gonna be in a box. It's totally gonna be fine. It's totally gonna be fine. You can't do that, right? I mean, the truth will set you free and it'll set them free. And so it's actually way clearer to focus more of the attention on getting them to admit their hell, getting them to admit the heaven of once the project is going to be finished, and then just sell them that you're the greatest purgatory they could ever find. Okay, so that's the goal. I hope that makes a lot of sense. We're going to keep talking about that though. It really is the secret. That is also the secret team of when we helped the United States Army double their conversion rate. Cool story. The Army was doing the exact same thing. They were trying to convince people that being in the Army is heaven. And we were like, well, no wonder your your recruitment ratio is so bad. Like, stop trying to convince people that Army is heaven. Army is purgatory, right? Like, you're gonna shave your head. You're gonna leave your family for at least 3 years. You know, you're gonna do hundreds of burpees every single day. You're gonna get yelled at whenever we just feel like it. Like, that's totally heaven. That's a hard sell, team. That's a hard sell. And so we said, why are you trying to sell something that's so hard to sell? So stop selling, you know, that the Army is going to be easy cookie, easy breezy heaven. No, right? Hell is the current life they're in if they don't choose the Army, okay? Army is the vehicle. Army is purgatory for the heaven of who they're going to become once they're out, like once they serve, right? Like you serve the Army for 3 years, you become a truck driver making $100,000 a year. That's pretty cool, right? So we're gonna give you free education. We're gonna train you. You're gonna get all these amazing benefits, all these amazing GI benefits, and you just need to serve this country for 3 years. You're gonna leave debt-free with money in your pocket, make $100,000 a year as an electrician or a truck driver. Like, let's talk about that heaven. Let's talk about the life you're gonna have in 4 years. Let's talk about that. Who do you wanna become in 4 years, right? So that's what we sold them. We sold these kids on who they wanted to become in 4 years. And if they don't choose the Army, what's the hell they're gonna live in, right? What's that like? How's that life gonna be, right? So we got them to talk about the hell, talk about the heaven, and then say, let me share with you why 3 years in the Army is the best purgatory of your life, right? Just 3 years. Let's go, right? So you can see that one little shift, because Fort Knox and our taxpayers, our government was training the kids to sell Army as heaven. And we shifted them and said, stop selling Army as heaven. Sell Army for what it is. And it's purgatory. It's a vehicle to get to heaven, right? And that's what we're going to sell them. And so that's what you guys gotta master that. Does that make sense? Are you guys liking this? Do you guys agree that if we can double the Army conversion rate, you can double your conversion rate just by shifting this one thing? Guys, give me a thumbs up. Give me an emoji. Give me a fireworks. Give me some bomb symbols. Give me something. Give me some kind of cool thing. Here we go. Thank you. Okay. So, all right. Let's keep going. So one of the things you need to know about this as well is that just like you, homeowners do their homework first. So this is some pretty cool research that 91% of homeowners, they check reviews before inviting a contractor in. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to bust the false belief that they're just looking, right? Because the research is pretty clear that they're doing a lot of reviews. Like, they've already eliminated a lot of people, and you're already getting them to know, like, and trust you like just in this initial review stage before they invite you into their home. So, right, so these are some of obviously our reviews from other home services companies like Magnolia Fence and Rock and Tate, Express Home Flooring, Lawn Connections. These are all different. They sell pergolas and pools and all kinds of stuff that we help. But the people are checking reviews beforehand. So I just want you to know that they're much further along than what they say out of their mouth, right? So what they say out of their mouth sometimes is different than obviously what's actually happening below the surface. And so we need to understand that.